Hello everybody, my name's Nicola and welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage where we talk all things money to help you on your financial journey. Today's video, I thought I would share with you how I budget weekly so that I can fit in with my tight budget, my cash envelope system and my long-term financial goals. So don't forget to like and subscribe and let's get started. So if you're not new here, you'll know that I love the cash envelope system. It has compounded the budget planner, has really transformed my finances for the better. And I thought I would show you just how I've kind of got into a new groove of how to do things and how I am structuring my life basically. I thought I would share with you just what that looks like now I've got into kind of a new rhythm now that we've kind of a bit more settled. So this is my cash envelope system. The binder's just from Amazon. It's one of those kind of the softer ones, which is nice. And then I've got the envelopes inside. Now all of these envelopes are available on my Etsy store. If you want to have a look at those, I'll leave a link in the description below. But I think there's 7, let me just get them up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So these are my variable expense categories. And for my budget overall, I'm just going to show you this in my budget planner. They look like this. This budget planner is my absolute favourite. I designed this again in my Etsy store if you want to have a look. I use it every single day. But that's my budget. And then I break this down into kind of weekly amounts. Now they do fluctuate sometimes depending on the week, depending on what we've got on, depending on how I know kind of what stock is like. Oh, not stock, that makes me sound like a shop. Like what I've got in already and what I need to buy versus what I don't need to buy this week maybe. But this is the kind of the setup. So every week I withdraw £130 from my bank to live on for the following week, and that's what I've got here. So I thought I would share with you just how this works in terms of budgeting it for it. And like I said, sometimes a certain envelope might have more in, a certain envelope might have less in, it just depends. But food-wise, and I have people that comment on this all the time, so the food for me is me and my 2 children, they're 8 and 6. And 2 ways in which I keep our food spend really low is, I'll put it on the screen. I use a meal planner every week. I plan our meals and I write a shopping list before I go. That way I can keep our food shop low as well. I also tend to kind of use leftovers a lot. I batch cook so that there's more things. I'm also not opposed to having like cereal for tea if I can't be bothered, and especially if it's just me, because the boys sometimes get food after school club if they have to stay late. It's not very often. But there are kind of various ways around that. But for food wise, I'm going to put £40 in the food budget for this week. I don't feel like there's as much to get this week. I feel like we've got quite a lot of things that need eating up. So I'm going to put £40 in there for now. And like I say, it's me and an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. It's not a massive family. I've not got teenagers that have got hollow legs. I haven't got anything like that. I've just got... Although saying that, sometimes my boys... some days they eat loads and then other days they hardly eat at all. Like, is that a thing? I feel like sometimes I'm like, you can't possibly, like, you can have more, but are you sure? And then other days they're like, no, I don't want anything else. I'm like, okay. I don't tend to understand, or don't pretend to understand how food works in the minds of children. But £40, our food spend is normally between £40 and £50. And I've put £40 in there this week because I'm hoping that, because we don't need as much, because I know what we've got in already, it'll be under that anyway. I'm sure it will be. The biggest expense at the moment is fruit, and unless I figure out a way of growing my own, I don't really know how to get that any lower. So if you've got any tips on how to get fruit for cheaper, or maybe even grow my own, I don't know. But yeah, let me know. So food spend is generally around, it tends to sit around £45 a week. I put slightly less than that obviously this week. Then petrol's my biggest expense. In a month after my mortgage payment, petrol is up there as the next expensive thing. Actually no, that might not be quite true. I think it's mortgage payment, then childcare costs, and then petrol. Petrol I put in every single week. I put £50 in petrol. So 20, 30, 40, 50. I have been looking actually at electric cars, like fully electric, because yes, the initial outlay I guess is big, but then apparently because you can like charge them overnight, really cheap electricity. Petrol is the thing that sometimes is the thing I stress most about, because it is expensive, and it's gone down again slightly recently, which is absolutely amazing. But I need to get to work. I travel quite far for work every day, and I do, you know, it's complicated. So £50 a week goes into my petrol budget, and I do spend that every week. Yes, it might be pennies left over. And oh, I should have said this to begin with. So at the end of the week, if I get things left over, which is sometimes likely, sometimes not unlikely, I do one of two things with them. So either I leave it in the envelope it's left in and roll it over, or there are 3 binders that I use really regularly. I've got 4 now. I should really do an update video on this. So either this is the one that gets used the least. So if I have any, I've got a 50p challenge, which is actually, I've just started. These are my savings challenges. So the £2 coin challenge is the one that's been used the most. Some of them really don't have a lot in at all. In fact, some of them don't have any in. That's the one I use the least. I've got then my school holidays binder. So I need to change it around because May half term's been out. Oh look, I need to take that out of there. So the next one I'm saving for is the summer holidays, and it's not got any in. So I should probably start saving for that, since it's the summer holidays in 6 weeks' time. I've got that one, so I should really look at that really. Can you tell that I've not looked in this recently because that's still in there, and I should have moved that over. I also have my own sinking funds binder, my normal one, and again, if you've watched my videos, you'll have seen these. And again, I've got a video coming up on this because I need to do something about these. So they're my normal sinking funds, kind of the ones I should be focusing on. And then my new one, which I'm obsessed with, is my Christmas binder, and this has got some in as well. So if there's things left over in a week, like look how cute this is, I love this binder. If there's anything left over in a week, and all of these binders and inserts and things are available on my Etsy if you want to join me, obviously I love them because I use them all the time. But if there's anything left over, I tend to put it in one of these 4 binders, because that's kind of the longer term savings goals I have, or things that I know that I will need that's coming up. I'll be totally honest, there's not that much left every week anymore. There just isn't. The budget isn't very big to begin with, and I do tend to spend most of it. So once I've got the food and petrol envelopes filled, £40 in food and £50 in petrol, that doesn't leave me with much left to go everywhere else. So household tends to get £10 a week. This is the one that is most likely to not be spent. I'll put £10 in there. And that's because that's like things like toilet roll, kitchen roll, cleaning stuff. And once you've got them, they tend to last a while before you need them again. And so £10 every week is, well, and to be fair, my budget for household at the moment in total is supposed to be £10. But I put £10 a week in there just in case, and that's the easiest one to roll over in terms of putting it into different sinking funds. I have had to borrow the £10 from the household envelope occasionally, and when I talk about the cash envelope system, it absolutely has to work for you. So if I've not spent the household £10 but I need it for the cats, for example, I don't mind doing that. I'm not that strict that I'm going, oh well, I can't spend it because it's the household envelope. If I need the money, I need the money. And so you need to find a system that works for you. This system is the most straightforward and the most simple, it's just changed my life. Yeah, so £10 in household. Miscellaneous, it's tricky. So miscellaneous basically covers anything else that doesn't fit in any of the others. That also gets £10 a week. Now my budget for miscellaneous is £30 a month, because I don't know, that just covers all bases. That's a new one for 2024. I love the tulips. Tulips are my favourite flowers. Not that I ever get flowers, but if I do, I love tulips. But there's £10 in that every week, just in case. And then there are 3 more envelopes, and I've only got £20 left. So cats, the cats are becoming quite an expense, and I'm not entirely sure what to do about it. And I keep trying to ignore it, because if I ignore it somehow that might make it better, but it wasn't there. Food is getting expensive, but also one of them has medication that she has to take all the time now, twice a day, and that is also quite expensive. So combined, yeah, I am trying not to think about it too much, because I don't know, I genuinely don't know what to do about it. And again, didn't ever think that I'd be making all these decisions by myself. But cats, they get £10 a week. That's for litter, like cat litter and food, basically. The medication, I'm having to I've paid on my credit card this month because I haven't got any money left. but she needs it, so yeah. But that's, you know, that's not for now. But anyway, so £10 goes in the cat's envelope, and then there's two left of the children's envelopes. I have 2 children, 2 boys, hence the gamer, and then eating out, and the final £10 goes in the children's envelope for like sporting things, or they might want to go out somewhere the weekend or whatever. £10 does not get me very far. And so sometimes we try to have weekends where we don't do anything expensive, and so that £10 stays there. And theirs is one of the ones that I will roll over, because £10 with 2 children does not, does it? You know, anyone who knows how expensive things are knows that £10 goes nowhere. And then there's a final one, eating out. It doesn't actually get much allocated very often. If you know me, and I have a link in my bio description box for buy me a coffee. If you know me, I'm obsessed with coffees. It is my little treat. I don't treat myself often, but coffee is my thing. However, eating out envelope rarely gets any money in it because there's none left. So if I want to get a Costa coffee, for example, it's very rare now. It used to be much more of a, used to be a Friday treat. So I'd get to Friday and celebrate with a coffee because I'd made it to the end of the week. Now it's just, I can't. But there is a link down below in the description. If you're finding this video useful, feel free to treat me to a virtual coffee and I will love you forever. But they are my cash envelopes, and that is how I budget my £130 every week. And I've had a couple of comments going, oh, you have no idea what it is like to live on a budget, and you know, you've got all this money and you're taking your... I'm aware that I'm luckier than a lot of people, and I'm aware that there are different people in different scenarios, and I hope that this video comes across as me showing how I'm doing things. I find this budget really difficult to work with, mainly because there's not any kind of wiggle room. I am struggling to stick to things because there just isn't. It's just a change in mindset and a change in lifestyle and a change in everything. And I'm hoping this shows that, you know, £130 a week might be a lot to some people, but it might be very little to others. And I'm just showing you what I'm doing. I'm hoping to show you that when I talk about the fact that it's a balancing act, it absolutely is. And I think it's a balancing act for everybody. And so I'm just hoping to show you that this is how I do things, and the cash envelope system has changed my life. I find it much more difficult, as do most people when you talk to them about this, much more difficult handing over physical money than just tapping my card or something, because the tapping the card doesn't feel real and the handing over actual money does. And it is as simple as that. The basics are that. And the sinking funds a whole nother ballgame, which I'll get into in another video very soon. But that is how I budget my £130 a week budget using the cash envelope system. And like I said, it has absolutely changed my life. And I'll link the binder below. The binder that I use is just from Amazon. And then, like I said, all of the envelopes are available in my Etsy store if you want. And anyone who buys from my Etsy store or watches the adverts, or thank you so much, because it doesn't add up to very much, but it makes a massive difference in my life and in the lives of my children. So thank you so much for that. I'm going to wait until I start filming to put all this back in, because that is awkward to do. But yeah, so that is high budget. Let me know if you've got any comments down below. Feel free to. I will try and answer any questions if there are any. But yeah, that's my very straightforward setup. And yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you again very soon.